think this is working. Hopefully you can see me. Make sure you get my good side ropes. Ozzy, coming to you live from Morgantown, West Virginia right now. So this is my first video confessional ever. Gonna try this out a little bit, see how this works. Quick little update on our little Dublin tribe here. Brooke and Julie, I'm really cool with. Really like Brooke and Julie. Talk to them each and every day. We have some good conversations, and pretty much since the night before the very first challenge, we have kind of had this plan to eliminate Tony should we lose a challenge. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, we haven't had a chance to enact that plan yet. But luckily, our 2 practice challenges were just practice challenges. Mostly, they were lucky for Tony because for some reason, apparently, following simple instructions is a very difficult task. First challenge, literally all that we had to do was put our 4 tribe members in alphabetical order using their pictures. And all he had to do was copy the links that one of us posted. And somehow he was able to mess that up. Don't ask me how Tony got his picture at the very beginning of that. But from right there, I thought, okay, this is going to suck if we ever have a challenge where we have individual portions, because Tony is just going to royally screw everything up. And lo and behold, that came true last challenge, because holy crap, you want to talk about not being able to follow instructions? Those instructions very clearly stated that we must have a picture, the image of the limerick with the keyholes over top of it. We must have that posted in our tribe group in order for things to count. And Tony posted a link to an image that was extremely blurry and terrible quality. None of us could read it. And every time Tony was writing down letters, he was changing up the letters that he was using. So we were all kind of sitting around waiting for Tony to do his part, which he kept royally messing up. So finally, once other tribes started messing things up and posting them in the challenge thread, I used the picture that Dave posted from Cork. I used it to figure out the letters. Luckily, other people had been trying things, and Julie was able to get into the password protected forum and win the challenge for us, had it been, you know, an actual challenge and not just practice. So I kind of have this idea in my head now that maybe Tony isn't the greatest person to carry any farther in the game. I know I kind of always run this through my head at one point or another throughout these games of throwing a challenge. The benefits to throwing a challenge is Tony's gone. Brooke and Julie and I feel like we would probably be a pretty strong threesome, and I have faith in the 3 of us that we could win challenges together. So getting rid of Tony might not be such a bad idea. But then again, that puts us at a 1-person disadvantage. And if we do lose, you know, that also puts us in a predicament, because Brooke has an advantage that she can use where she can switch tribes with anybody at any point. At least that's what I've been told, if that is what the advantage really is. If she does use that advantage, it would be when there are just the 3 of us left. And then Julie and I, you know, this whole plan of Julie and I to take out a strong threat using Brooke's advantage, it's great in theory, but man, you want to talk about putting a huge target on your back super early in the game. That really kind of makes me nervous. You know, I want to play this game a little crazier than I have in the past, but I also want to make it a little bit farther than just 15 or 16 people left in the game. So that's a whole nother story in itself, and if that advantage ever comes into play, there will be a whole separate video confessional about that, you can guarantee that. Biggest thing right now is frustration with Tony. The instructions are very simple. I'm glad that Julie kind of spoke up and said, you know, hey Tony, the 3 of us can be here to compete. Since we all know that we're here for sure, why don't you sit out? I'm actually really glad that happened, because I think that Brooke and Julie and I can get him out at a later date if we need to. Which kind of segues into my next thought. After tonight, we're going to be down to 16 people. Wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of tribe swap happen tonight. I know that those happen quite frequently, and honestly, this would be a great time to do it, because you have a couple options. We could end up in 4 tribes of 4, or we could end up in 2 tribes of 8, or we may stay in 5 separate tribes, who knows. If we do have a tribe swap tonight, I will be kind of bummed that Tony's still in the game, because I don't trust Tony at all. I haven't spoken an ounce of game to him. I have tried, I've sent him messages, and I get either 1 or 2 sentences back, or sometimes I just get completely ignored. So at this point I have stopped trying, and if that is a downfall, then so be it. But I'm not going to sit here and waste my time trying to talk to Tony if he has no desire to talk to me, and that's totally fine with me. I will put all my eggs into the same basket with Brooke and Julie and see how that works out for me. If we do have a tribe swap tonight, I am hoping that I end up with one of Brooke or Julie, and I hope that if the 3 of us are split up, that we are able to get back together at some point. Tony I don't really care about, but if I end up on a tribe with him, I'll do my best to suck up to him. We'll see how that goes. All it's going to take is one night for everything to be flipped on its head. So with that, I will bring my very first video confessional to a close. Ozzy, out.